top of the morning to you. Faith and Bigora, Thursday is St. Patrick's Day. So I thought it might be a good time to do a video about Irish fiddling. Okay, that's enough of the lame accent. I'm Rod Saunders from Jew and Greek, and this is Musical Monday. And we're going to talk about Irish music today, and in particular, Irish fiddling. I've been a big fan of Irish fiddling ever since the 1970s when I was listening to an Arlo Guthrie album, and there were a couple of fiddle tunes on that album that I knew Arlo Guthrie wasn't playing that fiddle. So I looked in the credits on the album, and it said Kevin Burke. So I thought, well, who is Kevin Burke? I'd never heard of Kevin Burke before. Well, years later, when I got around to actually pursuing the fiddle, I tried to learn how to play those tunes based on what was on the album, and of course, it was very difficult to do. But years later, when I decided to get serious and start taking lessons, I found some Kevin Burke Irish fiddling cassette tapes on eBay. And I got a real good deal on them, and I started pursuing it. And I found out that Kevin Burke is kind of legendary in the world of Irish fiddling. He's still alive. He's in his 70s now. He was just in his 20s when he recorded for Arlo Guthrie. But anyway, he was my inspiration. And now, this isn't my best instrument, so don't judge me too harshly here. But I think I can play good enough to demonstrate some things and teach you a little bit about Irish fiddling. There are three main styles of Irish fiddling. There are variations of each style, and then there are other styles, but the three main styles. The first style is called the reel, R-E-E-L. It's in 4/4 time, and there's no emphasis on any particular beat. The reel is probably the most popular style of Irish fiddling, and the first reel that I ever learned, that I remember learning, was Cooley's reel. My fiddle instructor taught me this about 20 years ago. See if I can remember it. Kind of sloppy, but you get the basic idea. The one I really wanted to learn, though, was one of the tunes Kevin Burke played on that Arlo Guthrie album. There were two tunes. One was Feral O'Gara, and the other one was this tune called Sailor's Bonnet. Now, of course, there's a lot more to it than that. You do, it's kind of an A-B pattern. You repeat the A pattern, and then you go to the B pattern, and then you repeat it. And, of course, the band comes in with a lot of other instrumentation and everything, and it really sounds cool. Of course, I don't have a band with me, and I'm just showing you the basic A and B parts on that. But that's the reel. The next most popular style is probably the hornpipe. So you've probably heard a hornpipe before, you just didn't know it. If you've ever watched a Popeye cartoon, you know he starts off with, "I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eats me spinach." But then it goes into an old fiddle tune called Sailor's Hornpipe. Okay, Popeye the Sailor Man, Sailor's Hornpipe, see what they did there? Now the hornpipe is also in 4/4 time, but it puts an emphasis on the first beat and the third beat. So it gives it kind of a shuffle, bouncy feel to it, which is good for dancing, which is what the hornpipe tunes were for. They were dance tunes. The first hornpipe I ever learned was Blackberry Blossom. Now I didn't know it was a fiddle tune. I thought it was a banjo tune because I only heard banjo players playing it. But then later on, I learned it was actually a fiddle tune transcribed for the banjo. I can't play it as fast or as well on the fiddle as I play it on the banjo because I'm more natural on the banjo. But I think I can play it good enough to give you an idea how it went. I'll slow it down a little bit. It's in the key of G. Kind of messed it up. Like I said, this is not my best instrument. But that's Blackberry Blossom. The first hornpipe I ever learned was called Fisher's Hornpipe. My fiddle instructor taught me this about 20 years ago. I haven't practiced it a whole lot, but I think I can do it. Let's see. See, it starts with upstroke. Oops. So that's Fisher's Hornpipe, sloppily done. And then the third style, main style of Irish fiddling is called the jig, J-I-G. Now the jig is in 6/8 time. So 6/8 is like 2/4 time. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2. Only you break each beat up into 3 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably the most popular jig, you've probably heard it before, it's called the Irish Washerwoman. And it goes... the Irish Washerwoman, it's just a very basic melody. But the jig I always wanted to learn is a tune that I found on a Dan Crary album back in the 80s. Now, Dan Crary was a guitar player, but he liked to do all different styles of music, and he did just an incredible rendition of this tune, and it's become one of my favorites to play. It's called The Stray Away Child. Stray Away Child. So that's the jig. You can hear that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going all through that. There are other styles. There's what they call the gavotte. There's a slip jig, which is like the jig, only it's 9/8 time instead of 6/8 time. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's kind of an odd tempo. And there's other things like polkas and a few other versions. But the big ones, like I said, are the reel, the hornpipe, and the jig. So as St. Patrick's Day comes up, you're going to hear these tunes over and over and over. Now you'll be able to recognize them. If it's 6/8 time, you'll say, oh, that's a jig. Or if you see people dancing and it's got that shuffle feel to it, then you know that's a hornpipe. So that's a basic intro. Sorry for the sloppy playing, but I'm practicing. I'm going to get better on this thing. The problem with the violin is there's no frets. So you've really got to be spot on with the pitch. And my playing's a little pitchy dog. But that's why you got to practice your scales half hour a day to get those to get that intonation right. And the bow technique needs a little work too. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that with the violin it's all about the left hand, but the right hand is just as important. Bow technique takes years to develop properly to where you can really play well. So I got a lot of room for improvement in both areas, but hopefully someday you'll hear me play and say, hey, he's gotten pretty good on that. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to play us out here with a little Bonnie Kate. We'll see you next time.